All right, everybody, this is our last video of the day, and this is just a simple model of how we need to go through our checklist when checking our answers, okay? We talked about on the last one what the checklist is and some examples with it, but now we're going to put everything together in a pretty simple example so that we can understand how to do this, okay? So what I did on my screen, and this actually might be a helpful tool for you guys, is I put both the checklist and my answer on each side of the screen. Okay, so I can see my checklist right here, and I have my answer on the other side. If you want to do this, what you need to do is just drag your window to the side. Look where I put my mouse, and that will automatically take up half the screen. And on the other side, you do the same thing, and it will take up half the screen. All right. So let's go ahead and do this. So I just, again, did a very simple question with a pretty simple answer so that we just understand what this looks like. So my question was, what is your favorite season of the year? Have 5 to 8 sentences. And here's my answer. And I'm not sure why this is my answer because this is definitely not my favorite season of the year, but here we go. It says, my favorite season of the year is winter. It is my favorite because I love the snow. Because I love the snow, I need to buy coats and boots. The snow will made me cold if I don't has coats and boots. I love winter and I hope you do too. So let's go through our checklist real quick and see where we can make our fixes. Obviously, you can see because I'm in Google Docs right now, we have some of the underline. But on our WIDA test, when we take it in January, there will not be the underline. So I'm just going to pretend that the underline is not there. All right. So reread your answer. And we talked about the word examine. So we want to examine this. Okay. We want to reread and really, really, really go into reading it carefully. My favorite season of the year is winter. It is my favorite because I love the snow. Because I love the snow, I need to buy coats and boots. The snow will made me cold if I don't has coats and boots. I love winter and I hope you do too. All right, so I reread it and I can already tell there's a lot of mistakes on this answer. So we're going to go to the number 2 on the checklist that we made, and that is check our capitalization and check our punctuation. My favorite season of the year is winter. It is my favorite because, well, there's our first capitalization. We need that I to be capitalized. And I know we know this. I know that, when we do our corrections in class, we know that I needs to be capitalized. But even some of you intermediates, we often forget to type it. And remember, our WIDA test, it's typed. Your assignments that you're doing for your teachers right now are typed, and we want to make sure that we sound like we know proper English, okay? So we're going to erase that, and we're going to put a capital I, okay? That looks like our capitalization. Our punctuation, what else do we need? My favorite season of the year is winter. It is my favorite because I love snow. I also really because I love snow. Our punctuation looks good, except for the last sentence. I love winter, and I hope you do too. So remember, we put a comma in front of and if both sentences or both parts could be a sentence. I love winter. We have our verb. We have our noun. That's a sentence. I hope you do too. The same can be said for that. So we're going to put a comma right there. All right. So number 3, no run-ons or fragments. And we said a run-on is a sentence that goes too long without a period. And you should have seen it right away. I hope you all did. That first sentence, my favorite season of the year is winter. It is my favorite because I love the snow. We need to cut that in half. There is no need for that sentence to be one giant sentence, okay? My favorite season of the year is winter, period. Put that period right there. And that actually makes us need to capitalize the I in it because it is the beginning of a sentence. Do we have any fragments? Remember, a fragment is a sentence that isn't a complete thought. It doesn't make sense, okay? So my favorite season of the year is winter. It is my favorite because I love the snow. I also really what? I don't know. I didn't complete that sentence. That's a fragment. So we're actually going to just delete that. Okay, we're just going to delete that. It doesn't make sense. I don't know where I was going. Maybe I saw my dog or something when I typed it and I just lost my train of thought. So we're just going to delete that. We're going to go to number 4. Remove unneeded words. Well, we did that. We took away that fragment. But I also have something else. The because. Remember, we don't want to start sentences with because. Technically, you can, and we've talked about that, but we need to be smart when we do. And in this case, we're just going to get that because out of there. Okay? It is my favorite because I love the snow. I'm going to say with the snow. So we're going to replace overused words. So with the snow, I need to buy coats and boots. So we've removed the unneeded words. We've replaced overused words. I think, let's see, do we have anything that we're using too much? Winter, I love the snow, with the snow. Yeah, I think we're actually pretty good. We have snow a few times, but I'm okay with that. And we had love 3 times, but because we replaced the beginning of the sentence, we don't need to replace love. So we're good with that one. Again, the example that we had for the replace overused words was the girl cooks, the girl makes chicken, the girl is cool. We don't need to say the girl 3 times, okay? We want to mix that up. We can put she in there. We can put her name. But in this example, we're good for replacing overused words. Verb tense agreement. This is when, if we're talking about the past, we need to make sure it's the past. If we're talking about the future, we need to make sure our words stick with the future, present with present. We've learned all this, but sometimes we get in the habit of our minds are working so fast that we type one thing and then we type another thing. And before you know it, our sentence has the past and the future. Well, we have that. The snow will made me cold. If we need to change that made into make. The snow will make me cold. If we're going to go to number 7. Subject and verbs agree. We need our singular subjects to have singular verbs, our plural subjects to have plural verbs. If I don't has coats and boots, we need to change that has into have, coats and boots. We get to number 8, our paragraph structure. My favorite season of the year is winter. We have our introduction. We've explained it in the middle, and we kind of even have a conclusion with the I love winter, and I hope you do too. So our paragraph structure, it's on point. We don't need to worry about that. And then finally, spelling. Well, it looks like everything is spelled well here. Remember, please don't stress yourself out if your spelling is not 100% correct, okay? There's a reason why I don't test and quiz for spelling. And 1, we're using computers, but 2, there are so many other things that are important in English than being able to know how to spell the word. Because we practice writing it so much, hopefully that's something that you get used to. But I have spelling on here because we just need to make sure that nothing crazy happens with a word. So if we look at favorite right here, and it looks like that, that is something obvious that we can fix. You will be able to see that you have that misspelling if you take your time and you examine your answer. If you analyze your answer, okay? But with small spellings, don't freak out about it. I know a lot of us get stressed about that, and it is okay, all right? So we've gone through our checklist. We've reread our answer. We checked our capitalization and punctuation. We no longer have any run-ons or fragments. We've removed unneeded words and replaced overused words. Our verb tense agrees. Our subject and verbs agree. Our paragraph structure is definitely good to go. And I don't see any major spelling errors. In fact, I don't see any in this answer. So what does that look like for y'all? What you're going to do after you view this video is you're going to read the article through the checklist or through the link that I'm attaching. Read that article, and then you only have to answer one question, okay? Make sure that you answer that question carefully, okay? So beginners, you're going to have something else. Intermediates, you'll have something else. Read the article, answer the question. Then before you hit that submit button, please, please take the time and do your edit checklist, okay? That's the only thing you have to do today. It's not a big deal. So answer your question, use the checklist, and then you're good to go for the rest of the day. And when you submit that checklist, you get another place on the game that we're playing in class. Okay? Have a wonderful day, and I will see y'all tomorrow on Wednesday. Goodbye.